So we're talking about queer football. Amie, I've heard that you are a football fan.
Huge.
Yeah?
Huge.
I can't relate.
Sorry, you're not going to be interested in this conversation.
I was forced into it when I was in secondary school.
Forced?
Yeah, because I'm trans, so like I had to be with the boys, and then they were like, go kick a ball, and I was like...
Rude.
So tell me about your football fandom.
Okay, so I played football when I was younger, all the way from like 7 to about 17. I then had to stop to go and do dance training, and I kind of forgot about it really. And then a job came up and was like, we're looking for a footballer. And I was like, oh, I can do a few keepy uppies. Did that, and then was like, oh my goodness, my love for football has just come back, and this is a whole new thing that I forgot about. Then dug out my old Arsenal shirts, which are about 9 to 10 years old, wear them to the games. And then started making football content online. And honestly, I think, first of all, like, all I had about my life was musical theatre, dance, performing, acting. And finding that hobby is so important. But also, to feel like you belong in a place and like they don't care who you are, they're so accepting. It has just made this journey so much more easier as well. And coming like to terms with the whole, maybe I'm gay, maybe I'm bi, maybe I'm straight, I don't know, don't really care. But it has made that side of things a lot easier as well, because the representation in the women's game is just incredible. And they're people I want to be friends with and hang out with, so it's amazing. Their representation's amazing, and it made me feel so much better about myself.
And do you play for a team?
I did. I played for my local team.
Yeah.
And we were very good.
What position were you?
I was right midfield, so I would run down the wing and then cross the ball in, and then they'd score. I didn't really score. I wasn't much of a scorer. The pressure got to me, but I was always good at like setting people up, which is good.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience to you in the sense that I kind of would play football in school and stuff, and actually I really enjoyed it, but I think as I grew up I started to realise I was gay. The football like world started to feel less like a place that I would be comfortable in. But I know that women's football, there feels like there's so much more positive representation there, and I love that women's football in the UK are just absolutely killing it right now.
Oh my god, me too.
Like the Lionesses winning the Euros. Like, come on, they're doing better than the boys, because obviously, I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, is that a sore subject to talk about? I don't know. But yeah, Harry recently made some comments that everyone blew up about, and it was like, us as a nation haven't won anything in years and years and years, and it's like, oh, hold up, have you seen what the women's game's doing? Because they're winning left, right and centre, so I don't know. That was a bit of a sore subject, but do you know what? I was on the train here, and I didn't know we were going to talk about it today, but just thinking about it, the acceptance in the women's game is like above and beyond. And it's such a contrast to the men's game. And it's like, how can we, like, not swap that, but how can we build that up in the men's game? Because I'm sure that I saw something in the news recently saying that they were preparing, like 5 players were preparing to come out together. Like they were like,
yeah,
that was something they had to prepare and probably go through social media sort of training for and things like that, and it's like, that's so
As
sad.
in come out with their sexuality.
Yeah, come out as gay.
Yeah.
Like that's such a big deal.
Yeah.
And
whereas in the women's, like, you don't have to come out. It's almost a given.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you actually. So like, your asexuality, does that show up in any way in your football, or are those two things completely separate?
I can't say that I know any footballer who is asexual. There probably are many, and there are probably many people out there in the public eye who are asexual, however they aren't talking about it. They might not feel the need to talk about it, but also they might not accept it as much with themselves. But I think there are probably people who are asexual. Also, they might not know about it. So they might be questioning things about themselves and thinking, oh, I'm not normal, or like, this is something wrong with me. And it's like, no, this is asexuality. This is what it is. So
there's no one way to be asexual, like you said, like the textbook definition or like the misconceptions about asexuality is like, oh, that person just basically doesn't have sex, which isn't true for every asexual person. I have a friend that is asexual, and their journey with it is completely different, and I really, really admire and respect your courage to like talk about it and just find yourself, because Yeah, there's not enough representation, which is really, really sad.
Yeah, there's not. I will say though, I almost feel like a bit of a fake when people say I'm good at talking about it, I'm open and everything, because I don't talk about it with my family. And that's not on my family. That's not because they're not supportive. My family are so supportive, but I just don't feel like it's something to talk about it with them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I'm very
babe.
open with anyone
Yeah.
who isn't my family.
The thing, like, totally get it. Like, your story and your experience is up to you, to who you share that with and how you share it. You know, like, I have always been super open with my family just because I really lean on them as a sort of support network, like through my identity things and sexuality things. But if you've found that in other avenues, then that's totally fine. That makes total sense. And obviously you have such a big audience on TikTok, so there are other people out there that are like you, and that resonate with you and relate to you in some way. So at least you are there to speak for them, you know?
I know. Some of the messages I've had, it's just like, this is why I do it. Because sometimes I question it. I'm like, are people interested? Do people want to hear about this? And it's like, no, people do find it really helpful, and it melts my heart, some of the messages I've had. And a lot of people go through the same journey I went through. In the beginning, they're like, I thought I was broken, and I don't know how to feel about myself, how to accept myself, etc. And I'm like, it will come. It will come. If you coming out on TikTok, I say coming out, talking about it on TikTok, it really helped. Really, I was so nervous. Posting that first video, I was sweating like cold sweats.
Here you are now.
And yeah, honestly, it paid off. It's really, really helped in the accepting process. Really helped.
Good.
Like, it empowered me.
Sorry, we've just got all the chaos in the background. I mean, obviously we're at Pride, so what do you expect? Meanwhile, well,
Love the
Amie,
energy.
It's so amazing to have you here. Thank you for representing the asexual community.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm going to follow you on TikTok because, to be honest, I don't know that much about it, so I'm dying to go and find out.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
But in the meantime, let's go and see what is going on down there on the parade route.